What's going on, Blerds, nerds, and everyone in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the sensei of the syndicate, here with another episode of With the BS. And I got my boys here with me again, founder of the 2020 podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC. My right-hand man, sir, how you doing today?
I am phenomenal, like AJ Styles. Let's get it.
Ooh, I like that reference. So, and then, without further ado, Al, he's like the Dark Knight of my group. Like he'll come just when he's needed, almost like Gandalf too. There's another reference there. So he's my gray wizard. Ooh, even better. Yes, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Bars.
And so, Al, what's going on with you, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Actually, no, I'm not doing great. I'm doing okay, but I don't like lying no more. It's 2022. We not lying about how we doing. We going to therapy and stuff, but I'm doing pretty good. It's up and down.
There you go.
It's waves, man. It's waves.
Be honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, ain't no need to front. We just here, and whoever's gonna watch this. Right. So, today I want to talk about the best Disney Plus has given us, because with everybody being inside the house, they've come with some bangers, and I don't think they've missed too much, but yeah, I just wanted to get y'all's heads up on what y'all thought was really, really good about this year. What was your favorite either series, and and also just talk about some of the movies they got too.
Well, I don't mind diving in first, if I may, gentlemen. If I may talk about my favorite show of the Disney Plus, the shit that just keeps my shit active. It actually made me go, little known fact, made me go from the monthly program to the annual program, just to show you how serious I got after this show.
Commitments.
Season 2 of The Mandalorian, bro. That was an ass-kicking season, bro. And I'm gonna tell you my favorite episode. It wasn't the episode when Luke showed up. That's actually like my third or fourth favorite episode. My favorite episode is when Ahsoka showed up. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even for Ahsoka personally. It was the battle Ahsoka had with the Chancellor of that planet. Mm-hmm. It was so down to earth, just martial arts enthused, old Kurosawa style film battle. It was just the samurai versus the samurai, and they just went heads up, and I loved that fucking fight. Excuse me for cussing that way, Wyatt. I'm sorry, but god damn it, I love that episode, bro. Now, if we're going to talk movies, favorite movie so far on Disney Plus that also contributed to me going annual, and this is going to be probably like a long shot. I actually enjoyed Mulan. Mulan is the animated one. Was one of my favorite Disney films, probably my favorite Disney film. And to see it translated into a modern movie was really exciting to me. Now, did I agree with all the decisions? No. But it did make me excited to see what else they could do to modernize some of those old classics. So those two are my top two that really stole the cake for me in Disney Plus.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and now can be able to go. I still don't understand why they haven't made Pinocchio into, like, that would have been the easiest one for me, because like you go from a wooden boy, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like
scary, Wyatt.
That's what when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know, dog.
Either, you know which one they won't be doing though? Pocahontas. That didn't age well at all, did it?
My mom did not let me watch that. She was like, no, we is not gonna say that was okay.
Especially when you read it and be like, oh, Pocahontas was really like 13 when she quote unquote made the decision to go to England, and then all of a sudden she had a mysterious accident where she fell ill. Just read it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So Al, what has been getting you excited about Disney Plus?
I've been on their shows for the most part. I haven't really checked out a bunch of their movies because, like, the Marvel stuff, I've seen it, I love it. and I've seen them a couple of times before they even got on the platform. But their shows have definitely kept me on the month to month. I'm not an annual member. I don't got bread like that, but to just come out at one time. But they do it. They put enough out to keep me month to month. I'd say my favorite so far has been Loki. And I just thought that it was a really good reset of things, because I had no idea, like, how are you gonna, you just had Thanos, you introduced multiple dimensions in that, Infinity Stones. How do you, it was already kind of a galaxy event or a universe event. How do you beat that? And I thought they were kind of just gonna just bring it down and have everybody have their own personal stories, which they kind of did, but they also opened it back up. And then they was like, what you thought was all of that, it wasn't even all of that, dog. So that show kind of opened up a whole new way for them. I'm really excited to see where they go from that. The second season, I'm really interested to see where they go with that too. I have no idea, because they've done so much with the movies now. I don't know where they'll pick up and where it'll make sense, because there's so much happening, so much to keep up with. But yeah, so I would say that favorite episode in that is probably all the Loki. I do enjoy that one. That one was a lot of fun. Movie wise, I tried catching a few. I tried Luca, and I got a little bored watching it. So I got to go back to it. I'm sure it's good. I think there's a new one that's on there, is it Encantado or something like that?
That's good.
I heard that was good too, and I really want to see that. So I gotta check that out.
Yo, so I'm gonna go a little left field. So I do really like The Mandalorian because of the simple fact that it got away from the Skywalkers, and it showed that there was more to the universe, because, like, if you really think about it, the Skywalkers just fucked up the whole galaxy, and like it was all within this, like, one little, like, 1 to 2 generations of family members, you know, and they messed up everything. But
right.
But I really enjoyed, like, that open world, being able to see, like, I think the Mandalorians are more of a religion almost, or a lifestyle, correct? So like, I appreciated that. But the one thing that had me really excited, and that's just because I'm an anime person, was, like, the Star Wars shorts that they had. The fact that they had them in so many different styles. My favorite one was the one with I forget the name of it, but it had all, like, they weren't anymore Jedi for real, and so then after that they all got their last, like, lightsabers from this lightsaber master. And
7?
Yeah, and so then that was a part that was super dope, because what they did was, like, the little girl was quote unquote one as well. So every lightsaber then also was made, had, like, its own different abilities that went along with it. So then it made it so that you had, like, I was really interested to see what was going on, because they were going to go through, you know, different galaxies and universes and things like that. So that was one that really had me intrigued. The one movie that I thought was really, really good, okay, so I think it's the one with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, and they were elves, and it's like an adventure. Oh man, what was it?
And it's like a half a dad.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of it.
Let me see here. Yeah, so that one touches, like, any dad stories really get to me, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, you know, because, you know, spoiler alert, like, they nobody ends up, you know, getting the dad, but he realizes that he didn't really need the dad, because the dad had already, his big brother had already kind of filled that role. And so it was a really big, crazy adventure. and it had magical stuff, but it was still kind of like they still had human abilities. It was really, really funny. So I really enjoyed that one. Now when it comes to like the streaming services, is there one that really beats what Disney Plus gives you? Because
Not to me.
Not at all.
Because Jeremy, I know you're not necessarily a big fan of HBO and the movies that they put out in 2020.
Trash.
Bro.
HBO has been getting by their shows, not their movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So did everybody see The Matrix, or did anyone see that one?
Oh my God, I finally watched it.
Before we get into that, I just remember the movie that I did watch on Disney Plus that I really, really did like. So I didn't give enough credit. Soul.
Oh,
Soul is crazy.
That movie was so good. That movie was so good. So I had to give a shout out to that one. But yeah, that's my favorite.
I didn't even realize that was Jamie Foxx until the end of the movie.
Bro, he is the best and most talented entertainer of our generation.
Absolutely.
Like he does everything. I can't really, and he does it all well. That's the thing. Yeah. It's not like he's just mediocre. He's just trying it. Like stand-up comedian, he's excellent. Excellent. Musician, excellent.
Man, he when we were in college, Unpredictable got me in some trouble. Got me in some trouble. So yeah, kudos to that one. Storm, if they have it, man, listen, is it Storm or Forecast? Whichever one. That whatever one where yeah. So but so
you still got it, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
So as far as the streaming services, because we'll talk about The Matrix, because nobody. Yeah, come on, Jeremy. Because
can I get mad for a second? Can I get mad for a second?
Ooh,
hell, you seen it? You seen it?
I seen it. Yeah.
What in the fuck happened to the martial arts? What happened to the martial arts, bruh? What happened to the martial arts, bruh? What the fuck is that?
Bro,
what the fuck is that?
Okay, listen. When I saw that, and then he just kept doing it, I was like, what is this? Like, we've seen you in John Wick. We've seen you in all this other stuff. What are you doing? You just spamming one move. Nah, dog. I thought you knew Kung Fu. What happened?
Bruh. I had the audacity to say I still know Kung Fu. Shut the fuck up, Neo.
Bruh. That's he's like, you can't get in my bubble. You can't get in my bubble.
They shouldn't have did that. And it was weirdly self-aware that it was a bad sequel. Like the whole movie was about forcing a sequel in this sequel.
Right.
I was not crazy about the reincarnation of Agent Smith. Not gonna lie, I was not crazy about it.
What about Morpheus?
You might as well say Morpheus wasn't even in the film. You know, like he was he was part. If you watch the Matrixes prior, you know that they're representative of the Holy Trinity. You got Trinity, you got Morpheus, the father, and Neo, the son. Like that was the big three. And I just felt like either Trinity was added in this movie at the last minute, or Morpheus got added at the last minute. Like it don't feel even. Like it didn't feel like everybody got the right amount of story to me. Am I tripping?
The whole thing was fucked up. So I'm not gonna say you were tripping. So it was a tough watch.
And let me ask y'all this: I would have preferred, instead of Neil Patrick Harris being the analyst, I would have rathered him be the reincarnation of Agent Smith. I feel like he would have did better understanding how everything works. That's just me. I feel like it would have made a more enticing villain rather than this random nigga who Neo been working with. Like, oh yeah, I was your partner, but yeah, I'm gonna go kill him. So don't get in my way. That wasn't good, bro. That was not a good movie.
Al, what you had to add, bud?
I don't feel as strongly about how bad it was. I do feel that it was not one that we necessarily needed. I don't think we even really wanted one, to be honest. Some of the action was good. I did like the train. I like the train up into the mirror part. Okay. They had to get through that. Okay. So I think for the people that the people that they introduced that were new, and the stuff that was happening outside of the Matrix, Zion, stuff like that, the new tech growing, the 60 years that it passed, I think there's a lot of good things there. A lot of stuff that happened in the Matrix itself was kind of dumb, for lack of a better word. I don't think they did a good idea of a good job of explaining exactly what was happening, what kind of abilities Neo had, even as a person that was kind of just brainwashed in it, because he could make a matrix within a matrix where he could hide Morpheus, and they can go visit that matrix within a matrix and bring him out. And I don't think, that was all that great. I don't think that Agent Smith, his reveal, I mean, you already knew who he was kind of from jump, but the logic of putting him there and then all of a sudden becoming Agent Smith and just transform into that, and it didn't really make no sense. But I didn't hate it. I think if you turn it off and you don't, you're expecting it to be bad already, I think you can enjoy a little bit. What I will say, however, is I think that this gives a little bit of credence to that the Matrix might be stolen from that black lady, because they did not do a great job after the first one, which is the one that she's saying that they stole. Ever since then, I would say that and the Matrix. Those have been the only really two properties, and I did like Enter the Matrix, the game. Those have been the only two properties that the Wachowskis have made. Hold the test of time. But after that, and then even their projects after that are not Matrix related, they don't seem to be really good filmmakers.
Didn't quite hit us. Yeah, they didn't quite hit us as well as the other ones. So so my thing was, I like the fact that they had the fact that, how before in the last Matrix they were talking about, we'll let whoever wants to go out, come out of the Matrix, and then they said, okay, well, you make them feel like they're crazy, so then after that they constantly have to take the blue pills to kind of numb themselves. I thought that was really smart. I did think, there was a whole lot of like tongue-in-cheek kind of like, we're gonna make this movie, or how they were talking with Neo, they were like, we're gonna make this game with or without you. And the Wachowskis were saying, okay, this is like, that was their snub at this, because I like you guys said, I think they knew that the movie wasn't great, but they, I don't know, like the more and more I think about it, where they were like, hey, we didn't ask Lawrence Fishburne to come back and be Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne was probably like, he read the script, he was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on this one.
I think he took a check.
Nah, not for that one, because like his credit is pretty good, you know what I mean? But so he's like, I'm cool making this Blackish money right now, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then I knew it was gonna be bad when I saw Jada Pinkett Smith in it, and then I was just like,
don't Jada like that.
So yeah, when I looked at that, I was just like, we're
now. I will say one thing I did like. That was an interesting take. Of course, the Wachowskis had their transition.
Yeah,
I did like the concept of feeling like you look like one thing, but then looking in the mirror and you see something else. I was like, okay, I see what you did there. That was clever as shit. So I will give them props on that. They did like give me there. I was like, oh, okay. I see how you're,
because Neo looked like 60 what balding and all the rest of it.
Right, but on the inside, you know,
It was him.
you feel like you look like something else. You don't. It was like placing us in their shoes with their transition. So I felt it. I respected it.
So what do you guys think about the I guess the choice to make the first Matrix a game? I thought that they did not really show that well, because they showed a lot of clips, and it just showed it as if it was like a movie.
Yes.
I would have liked to have seen game stuff. Like there was nothing in there that made it seem like this was a video game. All the clips like movies, the way people talked about it was movies. You know, they didn't say like how people were experiencing this game. I guess if it was on like a PC or something, like I just feel like this was supposed to be a very popular game that nobody actually seemed to play. And I don't think that was a choice that they needed to make. They could have just said, this was a movie that you made that came out, you was an actor in it. I feel like that would have made.
Yeah. But I think they were trying to go over people's heads, but they couldn't use the same medium that they were in. You know what I mean? So then that's why they were making fun of the fact that like, oh, cat videos. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do this, and this. Like, I understand there's always an opportunity to say no. And I feel like they chose not to, like, they begrudgingly took the project, and then like if the project failed by themselves, like without them in there, then your hands are clean of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like being a parent in a certain way. Like, you raise them to a certain extent, and after a while, the decisions that are made are no longer your decisions. Like, you can feel bad for them and be like, oh shit, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But if you know that you put your all in there and they know that they were raised right, then that's no longer it is your concern, but it's not your concern. You know what I mean? You don't have to live with the ramifications. They decided to go ahead and put themselves back in it, and that's what got them messed up. Because, you know, I knew the movie was gonna be bad when Keanu Reeves was talking about everything else but the Matrix movie. Like, yeah, it's great to be back here. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about, man, we haven't seen you in a Marvel movie. Who would you like to play? I'd love to play, such and such, Ghost Rider, or I'd love to play Constantine again. Everything else he was talking about besides his damn movie. That's how I knew. And then the fact that I remember in the first Matrix, they were talking about like he studied Kung Fu for like 2 years, and because like they wanted to make sure that it was like done well. You never saw any kind of behind the scenes of him studying, him doing stunt stuff. And then the fact that he's been doing stunt stuff for John Wick, the way that he's been doing it, and then after that you come out with this, like there's a higher expectation for Keanu Reeves and what he does. Like, even if you, man, I even saw, like, it was on Netflix a little while ago, I don't know if it's on there anymore, but The Man of Tai Chi. Man, Keanu Reeves got down on that one. Like, you could tell that the choreography wasn't as intense as all the rest of it, but he was still punching the shit out of old buddy though. So, like, I don't know. It just it made me disappointed.
Remember that podcast we had about, what's a true martial artist? I don't think he's in that. I didn't have him in that conversation to begin with. I don't think he's in that conversation no more after this.
Yeah, I was one of them people that put him in it. I'll admit I was. I damn sure thought of him as a martial artist.
Here's the thing. So I'll say that he's a martial artist, but I feel like this was not a prime example of his ability in acting nor in choreography. Because everything else, I think this was just him catching a check. You know what I mean? Like, he may have had a deal with Warner Brothers, and they're like, oh, you gonna give us this movie, and he ain't had no choice.
After Cyberpunk and after this, and you want to know what's fucked up? Like, I think it wasn't even a week after The Matrix came out, they put out this bullshit teaser for John Wick 4. Did y'all see that? It's a teaser out for John Wick 4. Go, yeah.
His PR
like,
people.
Fuck this, get my name off this. Let's talk about the next.
Yeah.
So
at one point, it was supposed to come out like around the same time, wasn't it?
It was supposed to come out in the same year.
But no, they were going to come out like the 21st and the 23rd. So they were going to be like 2
that'd
days.
have been wild.
Yeah, so he would have had 2 of them come out, but then COVID happened again, and then they moved it back for some other reason. So now it's sometime like
I'm kind of glad.
Now I think he moved it back so he could, he could let all the smoke die down and then be like, you know what, hey, John Wick is still that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So
he kicks niggas.
He was like, give me some more martial arts people now.
John Wick can kick.
I think there's still room for the Matrix to be around. I think introducing it is fine. There's a lot of stories they can tell in it. There's a lot of stuff that I think they can expand it like Star Wars did. You just got to get it out of the hands of the people that it's in right now. They don't care enough, or it seems like they don't care enough. And I get it. I mean, you might want to do other things. You might be tired, but there's other people that's passionate about what you put out, and that they can stay true to what's happened, and they can make something great out of it. Because this wasn't it, but I feel like it's not the end of it, even though it's all rainbows and whatever right now.
They gonna
HBO needs to just go ahead and just get a series going. Give them Wachowski boys a blank check.
Not boys.
Kick us out. But hold on, kick. I'm gonna limit them. Give them a blank check, but only give them 8 episodes.
Get executive producer credit. That's it.
Okay, I'll take
That's
that.
it.
Just let them executively produce. Get a dope writer. Get the black lady to write it.
Here's the thing that I think all of like kind of HBO Max's movies have kind of suffered from is like they have a really big budget, but they use all their budgets on just graphics. Yeah, they are like their storylines. I'm not gonna get you started on this, Jay, but Mortal Kombat story was not very good, but it had great martial arts. It had good choreography.
There was a punch and a kick somewhere in that movie.
So it wasn't. I don't feel as strongly as that one as Sir does, and I'm not gonna get him started on that rant because
I kind of wonder. How many times has he done it?
Oh no. Okay, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. No.
I just want to say one before you get started. I liked how when I was in the movie and I was watching the main character. I don't know what his name is.
Exactly.
Cole.
Cole. Cole. He was getting beat up the whole time. I was like, watch his superpower be he could just get beat up some more. And that's exactly what it was. He could take a hit and then bounce it back. His power is still dependent on getting your ass beat. And I just thought that was so funny.
And having Billy clubs. And having Billy clubs so you can beat somebody.
So hilarious. It was awful, but I thought the movie was okay, but I thought that part was funny. But go ahead, man. Sir, go. Let's
I'm not gonna go on a hard rant, but all you had to do was beat Johnny Cage. That's it. Remove Cole, Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage literally went through that. He went through this downtrodden period and then bounced back into fame after the tournament, bro. Like, that's all you had to fucking do, bro. And how do you have Mortal Kombat without Mortal Kombat? Like, I just don't understand. The character of the story is the tournament, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament is a death tournament for the rights to your world, nigga. Like, and it wasn't present.
It was just niggas jumping each other.
It was just niggas catching the fade.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. That first 10 minutes, that was serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I would much rather that 10 minutes be sprinkled here and there with everybody. Like, don't get me wrong, Sub-Zero seemed like that nigga. He seemed like the boogeyman in it, which is dope because I've always felt like Sub-Zero, the first Sub-Zero, was the devil incarnate. But fuck, man, like, And what the fuck is Arcana? Like, what is that? You just made up something. But go ahead. I'm done.
No, I just wanted to give a little preview though. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Jeremy's favorite movie though was Godzilla versus Kong though.
Don't you do it.
No, but no, I think HBO Max, I did appreciate Suicide Squad though. So yes. they did have a really good one there. And then as of tomorrow, they'll have the Peacemaker out. So we'll be able to see that, because I think John Cena is coming into his own as an actor, and I think he lives in that cheesy world where he can be able to be not as PG, but still be that kind of cheesy person that he can probably be in that situation. Mm-hmm. Plus, I watched the Doom Patrol, which is crazy. It's a mind mess. It's mind fuck for you if you've ever seen one. I don't partake in any fun stuff, but if you did, that definitely would fuck you up, because like there are ass werewolves. And then there were then it became an ass werewolf zombie at one point. It was all bad. But man, listen, there's a lot, but it's really, really fun, and they know that they're not a regular superhero show. The other thing that I really enjoyed is Titans. Not Titans and Young Justice. Titans not as much, because they drag on too much. You know what I mean? Like I really wish they get to the point a little bit quicker. But Young Justice definitely is going strong for me.
I agree. I definitely think. Oh, go ahead, bro.
You got it.
I was just saying that I think HBO's DC section, like their motion picture section, ain't the strongest. But hopefully, when they delve into this Peacemaker character, they'll see that we ain't got to take ourselves too seriously with these other characters, and people will still love them. DC's animation game is on point, so Young Justice is always going to be a hit. They could just keep going, bro. They ain't really got to stop. They have storylines forever, and they can just keep making like these those animated films available on HBO now, and just keep doing that, because we let's just be real. As much as I love Marvel, ain't nothing fucking with those DC animated films, bro. Like when what was that Justice League Dark Apocalypse War?
Yes.
Huh. That was fucking wild.
I'm gonna say that pacing had it was better than what Infinity War and Endgame was. If you really want, bruh, you will get satisfied. Like there's death, destruction, everything going through. So the DC animated is on the same level as the MCU, if not better. So
I know they're pretty good. I just haven't watched a whole bunch of them.
I fully agree, bro.
Even their one-offs, like I really like the Ninja Turtles and versus Batman. Really, really good.
I didn't mention that the other day. It said it was good. Surprisingly, it was like, why is this good?
Their choreography, man.
Batman versus Batman was fucking for real, boy.
Mm-hmm. Batman got his ass whooped the first couple times.
Oh shit!
Batman got pieced up. Batman was not ready for Shredder at first. So, but yeah, like just those things. Honestly, they're one-offs. Their animated stuff is on par with the MCU. And especially the way that they ended with Apocalypse War. It was better than it was up there in the same category as Infinity War and Endgame. But it was shorter, it was more to the point, and you got all the action. You know how at the end of the show we were waiting for the fights from when Thanos came back and he was in our time then. We essentially wanted that. And you got that whole feel for the whole movie of Apocalypse War.
And I know we weren't really trying to go into this conversation because we started off with Disney, but we already Sunday praises.
Yeah.
But DC's animation, and I'm gonna say this, the variety as far as DC's animation, because one of my favorite two-parters is Long Halloween, part 1 and part 2. That's one of my favorite comic books of all time. And they adapted it really well, and they twisted it in a way where I wasn't pissed, I wasn't mad, I was satisfied in the end. So a lot of times we don't get that Batman that's a detective. We get the Batman that's punchy and all that. Well, this is a story where punching shit ain't gonna do nothing. Batman is being outsmart.
I like that.
Somebody is legit smarter than Batman and is beating him at every step. And I love that. I love detective stories. I love, not being funny, detective comics. That's how I got on Batman, literally reading detective comics. And that gave that to me. Even way back when everything started with Batman and the Red Hood, you know, we knew who it was, but it was a situation where punching wasn't going to get anywhere. You had to sit down and figure out what the fuck was going on. And I think DC does a great job of that in their animation department. Will Marvel catch on to that? I don't know.
I think so. I think they're starting to get what it showed a little bit of that. I feel,
You were
and
right.
I do think that
You are right.
a little bit of the Hawkeye, and not so much Loki, but I think they're starting to get into the more personal stuff that you can't just punch. They might start that with the Hulk a little bit, you know, with his Hulk dysfunction, you know, where he couldn't get it up. But that was internal. But it's gonna take a while for them to get to where DC can get it. And I think their comics have always kind of had that difference. I don't read a whole bunch of them, but I've always liked DC's comics more than Marvel because I felt their stories were on that level. There was things that they couldn't just beat up. I think Identity Crisis is like one of my favorite ones.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I read that so long ago, and it sticks with me. And I'm like, man, I wish they would do something like that today, because that was just like a self-contained, just the Justice League issue. And they did something to somebody, and it came back and bit them in the ass. And
is that with Dr. Light?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
bro! I sat in Barnes and Nobles and read that whole thing because I didn't have money to buy it. So I sat in there and read that whole thing. I was like, "Yo, this is how they do in comics."
And Slade was he took the whole squad out.
I was like, that's stuff I want to see in their movies.
Yeah.
And they have not given me none of that at all. And I'm like, y'all have those stories right there. That's movie quality stories. What are y'all doing? Y'all don't have to do all these quips and stuff and whatnot. You can make mysteries. You can make thrillers. You can make suspense. You can make horror movies if you wanted to with these stories y'all got. And y'all just fumbling the ball.
I think they're too scared to do it in live action. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they saw what what Marvel was doing, and they was like, well, we can do that too, but there's a different feel. And like you said, as squeaky clean as Superman is, and as dark as Batman can be, like they don't want to touch on those same issues in a live action. And that's why I think honestly the animated series are so rich, because they play into the comics and things like that, and then they're like, well, what if we did this? And like they don't have a problem going that far, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even what was it, Young Justice, they talked about how in one of the seasons, like Deathstroke was, you know, he seduced Tara, and then like, so she came in there with a nightie on, some lip gloss, and she was like, hey, what's going on, Slade? Slade was like, no, we can't be together, girl. I need you to go ahead and spy on these dudes real quick for me, and then we can talk about being together, because then once I'm in here, then we can do whatever we want to. Played her. the whole time.
Mhm.
So it was stuff like that where, man, it was dope to see, but not dope. You know, pedophilia is not a good, okay, but
We know what you meant. We know what you meant. We know what you meant.
So but short of that, man, like that's why I think honestly their animated stuff is so much better. But I do also think that Disney's starting to catch up, because then that's why they did those shorts with the anime companies, because then after that it's like, hey, we do this, we have this, and then I think that sometimes they're worried about their name, the Disney name. But that's also really, really good why they bought Hulu, because a Marvel property that was really, really dark that did really, really well was Hitmonkey. He was killing everybody. And they know that they couldn't put it on Disney, and then they just went ahead and put it on Hulu. And so that's what I think they're doing now, is they're just giving some of these other lesser titles and just letting people, like, stuff that they know that they can't ever adapt to a MCU movie that can be able to say, you know, Disney presents Marvel's such and such. They just put them on Hulu and call it a day.
I gotta give a shout out to Harley Quinn. The animated Harley Quinn on there. That's a good show. I've been enjoying that one a good bit. But yeah, HBO got to step it up, because DC is carrying them, and Insecure continue to be a disappointment through the end. So
can we talk about it real quick?
I'm looking forward to Issa's, the rest of her stuff. I appreciate everything else she's doing with radio and music, and I think she got like an interview series on YouTube, and a creator program for like producing new content. A lot of great stuff, but you know, Insecure kind of felt like Matrix Revolutions. Their heart was not in it, bro. I just did not see it, and it felt like they was tired, honestly. But yeah, we get into a little bit, man. Go ahead and get your stuff.
The time jump thing was an interesting concept, but when you do time jumps, context is left out, and you're forced to be like, wait, what? What happened? When did this happen? That was my only gripe with that. I can't go into detail too much, because we actually are reporting on that topic tomorrow. So I ain't gonna go into much detail about it, but I'm with you. I am with you, my guy.
I'm gonna say this part. I personally feel that Issa and Lawrence are monsters, and they're the true villains of the series. And the true villains, and they left a trail of bodies in their wake. That is I stand on it. I will die on that hill. And also, Kelly is the MVP.
Yes.
And they spent an entire series ignoring her, and I thought they were gonna give her an episode. They never did. That was really trash, because she was probably the best thing in the series for me. But that's just where I'm gonna leave it at.
Shout out to Kelly.
Yeah.
So that recording session is going to be, shameless plug, on the 2020 podcast. LLC squad goals. So we're coming back season 3 now.
Season 3, my guy.
Season 3.
Season 3.
So we're talking Insecure as a whole. We're talking a lot of stuff about that. So check it out. Go down here. Check Jeremy out. Check Sir out, and the whole squad. Like, that whole network is just, they're doing big things, man. I love it. Like, I love being a part of it. Being able to talk about it. I love seeing the development and how it's grown too. So y'all should check it out too. So short of that, so what? Let me think. What do you feel about Netflix? Because Netflix they've tried. I think they do all right with some of their movies, but some of their series, I think they give up on too soon.
Unfortunately, Netflix is like the Dark Horse Comics of the streaming game. It isn't that they have any bad properties. They have actual good content. It's just they're not as connected to their sources as far as like material goes. Netflix is like, hey, you want cooking? We got cooking over here. It's like a jack of all trade, but a master of none. So you really have to go looking for the things you need.
Yeah.
And that they have a bunch of niche stuff, and they do have a good plethora of shows, but I don't want to say they fizzle, but like Netflix give you everything at one time, bro. And I don't think that's
I like that.
I don't like in some cases.
I like it.
I do. I enjoy it. And I think that's part of why a lot of us still keep it low key, because we have that ability. And I think at this point it's a nostalgic factor with Netflix, because I don't think they put out that much great content. I feel they bury it around, whatever good they have under a lot of mediocre content.
I agree.
And the people that have my password use my Netflix far more than I do. In fact, I only give it one person. He got his girlfriend on it, and we never like hit that like, oh, there's too many people watching, because I barely ever touch it. Netflix.
Let me tell you this silly story about my Netflix password. So one time, I was going through and like I hit that limit where somebody was like, too many people are on here. I was like, not if I'm paying for it. Like, I'm gonna always get into it, right? So I started going through devices and things like that. There was a device on here that said Netflix and chilling with your bitch. What the fuck was this? Like, so I immediately cleared everybody, and then I only gave it to like 4 or 5 people. Well, and most of those were family members. So like, you know what I mean? I had to do that, because if not, my mom calls me and she's like, hey, why doesn't this work? Because I changed it, because no one's getting on anymore. So no, but like the one thing that I thought that Netflix did really, really good on, they were trying to get into like the comic book game. So they got all of Mark Millar's properties, but they did some of them that they haven't done some of them that were really, really good. So this one is called Prodigy. It's a really, really good one. This guy, his name is Edison. He's actually like a genius, a billionaire. His dad gave him $1 at like 7 years old, and he was like, I'm gonna make $1 billion with this by the end of the summer, and did it. And so then also like he's kind of like, he has certain abilities like what was it, Taskmaster, where he can be able to see something one time and he'd be able to pick up on it and do it, but he does it with everything. So like I'm into like the first 2 or 3 issues, and like he goes to like Make-A-Wish and have all these kids give him like outlandish shit for him to do. Like, I want you to jump through a ring of fire over the Grand Canyon and dive into like a pond of water. And he does it for these kids. And then after that, he'll be solving world issues while playing chess with like grandmasters, and he'll still be doing things like that. It's a really good book so far, so I definitely recommend you guys check it out. And then I think, Jeremy, you told me to check out Huck, and I got the book, and I haven't finished. I haven't started yet. I was on Ninja Turtles Volume 2, the whole compendium. So I'm on. Oh shit. Yeah. But anyways, Huck is I heard was really good, but I don't understand why. There's a lot of different comic books that I think are really, really good that would make for great television shows. But my only gripe is, if at the end of a story arc, if there's no other way to go, just let it die there. Like if okay, prime example, and this is my like soapbox here, like the Supernatural, you could tell at the end of like season 5, that's all that the main writer had. And then after that, they just started making shit up. So if at the end of season 5, if that's all y'all got, like, just call it a day there. Just say, okay, that's the end of it. And then it prompts people to really be creative. not just to rest on their laurels and rest on the fact that there's like loyal fans that want to see this. So that's what I would say.
Very well said, bro.
I just
people do overstay their welcome when it comes to content, man. Mm-hmm. They always go for that extra goddamn season when they mm-hmm. like he was doing so good.
Yeah, and I don't mind having like a movie that maybe ties up the loose ends if you have those.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's completely fine with me. But don't then try to put something else in another position where now you want the people wanting more. I understand the selling point of that, but in the same instance, if you're gonna have people go from loving your stories to then being able to be like begrudgingly watching them to eventually hating them. So so then don't do that. Just go ahead and be like, hey, this is the end. Thanks for the ride, and then have some other stuff come up.
I'm reminded of The Watchmen when the writer was like, he said before the season ended that I don't have anywhere for this to go. Don't ask me about a season 2. If I can come up with one by the time y'all get it, I'll tell y'all. But if not, enjoy what you got. And he was like, yeah, nah, I couldn't come up with nothing. And I'm fine with that, bro.
That's cool.
I was fine with that, bro.
I was fine with it. It sucks, but then you get over it though too. Go ahead.
I don't know who wrote it. Who wrote Watchmen?
The nigga that did Lost.
Okay.
See,
that's the part that blew my fucking mind.
Should have stopped on Lost like 3 seasons in. But go ahead.
The issue that I'm having with that is, and it's something they did with Lovecraft, is when they can't go beyond when we get the power. You don't ever get that stuff. Like it just happened, and then that was it. Like you can't imagine black women being, Dr. Manhattan. You can't think of nothing. You can't think of black people having magic and there being a civil war between black and white people. Like I think there's a lot that you can come up with, but it's just weird that you can't get past that point, or you don't allow it to get to that point where we can see those stories. Because we've had so much off the wall stuff when it's not us that comes out. That's good. That's awful. That's average.
True Blood.
And I didn't watch it, but that's probably a good example.
Great example.
So I just feel like hearing it's just a little annoying to me because I feel like it's not that it shouldn't be that hard for us to see us in those.
I agree to it. I agree because like if you look at even something like Lovecraft Country, like that one was really, really good, and then all of a sudden it only gets one season. You know what I mean? Where it wins, what was it, Emmys or whatever they win? And
they had 22 Emmy nominations.
Yeah. And so then they, you go for the first, and I don't really fuck with scary movies. My imagination doesn't allow me to. But I watched that and I was like, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then after that, like waiting for season 2, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're not doing it. But then isn't Apple picking it up or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Apple picked up a contract with the writer.
Oh, so
they low key have some decent stuff. I've been watching a few of theirs. I was gonna bring them up actually.
Yeah.
I watched Ted Lasso on there, which is a hilarious show. I've watched a movie called Swan Song that I enjoyed a good bit. It's a black family kind of dealing with kind of death and secret. The father is not well. He's got to find a way to kind of like either move. He got to find a way to move on. I just kind of leave it at that. But it's worth a watch, man. And it's the kind of stories I want to see us in, where we just happen to be black. It's not about us being black. You know that when we have input in it, because there's our cultural things. We have our looks and our ticks and our things that only a black person can have their input on. But we not niggas. in the movie. We just regular people doing regular things and having regular problems. I do like seeing that type of content coming out, and that's the content that I support. So shout out to that one. That was a good brother.
You got to watch Invasion too on Apple. That was really good. And then I watched Finch. I'm convinced Tom Hanks doesn't like working with people no more, because like he's either working with like dogs, inanimate robots, so it's CGI. Toy Story, where he just does his lines and gets out of there. I need to see him act with people. But you don't miss with Tom Hanks. But I just think he's antisocial. And then what else have I watched? Yeah, think about it. He didn't talk to a ball Wilson. Like, I just need him to play off of somebody else that can give him something that's not either a trained animal or CGI that can be fixed in the back in post. What else? So I love having those many options available. Apple definitely does that. I have to check out Swan Song too, because it's played by the same guy who's going to be Blade, right?
Yeah.
I like you said, I really want us to be able to have more roles that are just roles, not like, of course there's certain things that like you'll have to put your spin on because of our background, because of who we are as Black people, but like there should always be roles where, if every Tom, Dick, and Harry can play that role, every Jamal Warren and Xavier can play that role as well. I just made those names up, I don't know, but it's just one of those things that like you can be able to do that. And I think a lot of times, I think them British actors are bringing that forward, and I'd love to see more American-based Black men have that same kind of feel to it too. But them Black actors from Britain are coming with it.
They need to just go on them and those auditions and just fake being British. Get a good accent going, so you walk in there acting British, and they were like, okay, but we need a American accent, Southern, West Coast, or whatever, and then you just break that out, and it's like, wow, oh my God, we found another. Nah, dog, I'm from here.
Right.
And I think that's gonna have to be how they do it, because they're really bringing them over from across the pond. And they're doing great. No shade on any of them. They're doing amazing. But we definitely aren't seeing enough of them. The ones here, they're not getting a shot.
All right. Well, last question of the night, fellas. So, what is it that you guys are watching recently? Is there anything that you want to watching, reading, playing?
Watching. I'm gonna put it like a star next to mine on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of awesome games done quick, which is people speed running video games for charity for St. Jude's, which is really dope. If y'all ever get a chance to check it out, really do check it out. It's dope. They play all of the shit we used to play growing up, but just in a speed run fashion while narrating what they're doing is really dope. As far as TV wise, I told y'all I was watching Mr. Robot last time. I've taken a break on that because that show gets dark as fuck, man.
You got to clean your palate.
That show is heavy. So I went from that to a show on Prime Video called Harlem, which is about these Black women in Harlem, and it's not an Insecure knockoff. It's its own show about 4 Black women, and it's their own thing, and it's really dope. I'm enjoying it. And movie wise, most recently I watched something on Netflix. I can't remember the name. It'll come back to me. But yeah, it was all right. One movie, it was a show. I watched Lupin.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. That shit was straight.
Mm-hmm.
Al?
But that's it for me.
For me, I've been watching too much, doing school and stuff like that. But seeing a bunch of the movies that we talked about earlier, Spider-Man, Swan Song, and Matrix. I watched HBO Max. Shout out to them because they have a lot of anime that
they used to. They just got rid of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, they still got the one that I'm watching right now, so I'm happy about that.
Okay. All right, there we go.
The God of High School.
Oh yes, we got to talk about that later on.
Right now, and enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. That's one thing I've always found kind of odd about Japanese, or I know that one's not Japanese, the animation. They like keeping it young, and they be whooping them little kids' ass.
My schoolers be getting fucked up.
Why y'all like beating up on children? Let them be grown to something. So, but anyway, that one's I've been checking out that. Doom Patrol. I binged that one a good bit recently. I took a break from it, and I'm about to get back on it again. Harley Quinn the same, and that's really about it. Looking forward to seeing what that Batman is about. I'm not too convinced on that trailer. Something's just not striking right, not sitting right with me when I look at the stuff that's coming out of it. And I'm actually surprisingly looking forward to The Fresh Prince. That actually turned me on what I initially thought about it, which was I was like, I'm not interested. But this looks like it could be pretty good. Kind of reminds me of All American, but I don't hate All American, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
Cool. So I finished watching Lost in Space on Netflix. It's really, really good. If you just want like a little science adventure, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I did from there. I did I had to watch all of Insecure because I waited, and then I have to do that for the 2020 podcast tomorrow. Well, it comes on Thursdays, so that's when we record, but you don't need to know our business. So yeah, I watched all those to get caught up, and then I've been reading a lot of comic books. So I've been reading Prodigy. I've been reading a lot of this other comic book called Saga. Jeremy, the other Jeremy, Evil Jeremy, he put me on that one. Essentially, it's like a war of two races, and they're like all in like that kind of fairy as kind of land. They end up having a kid together, and so like both governments are trying to find them and kill them, and it's their whole adventure going through it. But it's not. It kind of gives me a feel of True Blood, how they like talk and cuss and have sex and all the rest of it, like all together, but then people die as well. So you get to see them for a second just to get that lesson out, and then they get killed off. So it's really, really good. So I've been reading a lot of those. Short of that, man, that's all I've been doing, man. But and I've been watching Fighting Spirit, or Hajime no Impo. So yeah, that makes a nigga want to go in, and that nigga makes him makes you want to go.
That's a good old Dempsey roll.
Yeah.
So you makes you want to go into it, like go hit a punching bag. My son got a punching bag for Christmas, and he has been lighting that up. I'm telling you. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go on YouTube and rewatch some of the fights.
Man,
that's how much I enjoyed that anime. And I watch them just like pulling up just a regular boxing match, bro. Like,
yeah, man, they are so good because you like that's the one thing I love about the sports anime. They give you information on the background of why people do the things that they do in those, and why, and like the technique that goes along with it. So I've been watching that, and then it's like a diamond, Ace of the Diamond, which is like a baseball one, and yeah, bro. It talks about a pitcher, and the pitcher just doesn't have any control, but he can throw a really, really fast fastball. So then they're trying to show him techniques, but then also during the whole time, they're showing you how, people, they're like, well, you don't have to throw strikes all the time. You throw it so that they can make a miss. So that's the other part that they really do. So baseball season's getting ready to start again for my son. So I got to get him amped up to play baseball. So everything like that. So
yeah, we're on sports once for a minute. Kuroko basketball.
Yes, that one's dope.
Fire. Yeah. And then Haikyuu. I think it's how it's pronounced. The volleyball one. That's one of my favorite ones, actually. Just animes in general. I like that one a whole bunch.
Check out All Out. It's a rugby one. That one, man. I don't want to play rugby. No, I'm past that age to play, but it's like, I understand why they do this, and this now. But you're like, you have an appreciation for it. So like, I love the sports animes just because it's not power-ups, it's not energy blasts, it's strictly like technique and people wanting to work on how to get better. And if you can't relate to that, then what are you doing with your life? That's right.
You get a better appreciation for the sport. Now that
I watch volleyball now, I'm like, okay, like this stuff is making sense. Like, that's dope. That I see that setup was coming. That's a dump off. It's like you get that terminology. Like I know what I'm talking about now. I'm like, I just watch anime, dog.
So yeah, we're gonna have an episode where we just talk about anime because I think it's so dope. There's literally an anime for everybody. So just doing that, and I'll be your sommelier of anime. We'll be able to chill out, enjoy some times. Al, I'll get you my Crunchyroll, bro. I'll hook you up so that we can be able to, because they don't have a limit on how many people you can have. At least I haven't met that one because I don't share that one too often. My folks don't really look for anime. But yeah, we'll do that. And last thing, go get you some merch. You see these BWO shirts? They here for y'all. These are declarations of your nerdom. Not just blerdom, nerdom. So you can be able to tell people, hey, I mess with this. Hey, I like wrestling. Hey, I like anime. Hey, I like comic books. There's new shirts coming out every week actually. This week we had shirts that came out, and I'll probably put it right here. There's actually gym shirts that I got from that include Attack on Titan gym. So it has like, eat your best or whatever. And then there's another shirt that we have. It's an All Might shirt. It says Go Beyond Plus Ultra. And it's got All Might flexing as a gym membership because it's January, so everybody's in the gym. Let them know who you are and that you're with the BS. Make that statement. Anyways, I'm done promoting. Fellas, go ahead and promote what you guys have. I'm taking some time. Al, tell them about your t-shirts, man.
Oh man, I'm not wearing one right now, but introverted. I haven't put up any new ones in a little bit. I got a couple in the factory that's getting worked on right now, so it's probably gonna be a couple weeks. But theintroverted.com. If you can put a link in the description or something like that,
It's already there.
Grateful,
it's already there.
So that we can that imposter that I told you, but he's still around. So
yeah, he's got some dope ones. I can't wear introverted because I'm very loud, but I support though, and I get it. I get it to people who are introverted. Tell them get their ass outside, and then they just shut in for 2 more days. So, sir, tell us what you got going on, bro.
Man, a bunch of stuff. Squad Goals is returned, like we said previously. I was gonna say previously. I don't even know what the fuck that word means. Squad Girls has returned. I'm working on a documentary on men in marriage, Black men in marriage in particular. And just a few other things I can't talk about just yet. I have a particular wrestler who I'm going to interview next week live on the 2020 podcast page. And I'm excited. I'm going back to my wrestling thing. I did this thing where I was interviewing wrestlers who I was interested in interviewing. And lo and behold, the last 2 tag teams I interviewed are actually engaged in a feud at Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's camp.
Whoa.
So I was like, whoa, that's fucking dope as shit. And I know these dudes. So a shout out to them. But I'm gonna be working a lot more at some of the interviews over there. And yeah, just be on the lookout, man. If you like wrestling, come holler at your boy at the 2020 Podcast LLC. Just remember to please say
The LLC.
the LLC.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. It's not that difficult.
It ain't.
So I mean, sometimes they be forgetting, but you got to remind them.
Every single time.
It's like a pimp named Slickback. You got to say the whole thing together. So, anyway, last thing, we want you to be like the Hulk. We want you to smash the follow button, and we're gonna be like Tony Stark. We're gonna love you 3000. So for everybody else that's here with us today, and those that are here with us in spirit, we just wanted to say thank you so much, and be awesome all day long.
Sweet.